when the coach is adamant that they haven't made a decision on goaltending yet, for whatever reason, is that usually malarkey, great word? Do the goalies know in a timely manner, or are they held in suspense as well? It's a great question. I think it, again, varies. I know for me personally, when I played just about every game with my time in Minnesota, so I just assumed I was playing every game. A lot of times nothing was even said. I would just go to the rink. My name would be on the board. I just expected that I was playing every game. Usually it was more of letting me know when I was getting a night off or wasn't going to be playing a game. But when I was struggling sometimes or having a rough patch, and maybe the backup that I was playing with was going to start one that maybe wasn't on the schedule, or maybe potentially play 2 in a row, that's when it was always, that's when I'd always get the coach hasn't made a decision yet. So usually for me, when I got told the coach hadn't made a decision yet, it meant that I wasn't going to be playing a game that normally I would be playing. So I just kind of roll my eyes a little bit and be like, all right, we could just say what it is. We don't have to beat around the bush here and tiptoe. We can just say what it is. But that's the way it went for me. I think a lot of times with this, they don't try to keep the goalies in suspense the more often they can. I think when it's truly a 50-50 where they haven't made a decision, then some different thought processes going in. I think a lot of times when they say they haven't made a decision, they probably have, and they just don't want to release it to the media, to the public, and have these guys have to answer all these questions. Anytime you're in these situations, it's obviously because there's suspense to who's going to play, and it's maybe a controversy, or there's a lot of talk about it. And the more that they can avoid naming who that guy is, if it's going to cause more controversy or distraction, they want to keep that out. But most likely, the goalies know at the time, because it's never. Goalie's just never a position. You don't want to show up to the rink in the morning guessing if you're going to be playing or not. Myself, it's not like I'd sit and change much the night before a game. What I ate, I was pretty much on a routine no matter what I was doing, playing or not. But it's still nice to know, just going to bed, just that mental preparation, whatever you're going to do to have that game. So I don't think that there's very many times where they're going to let an actual game time decision for goalies go into game day. They're almost always going to know the day before. And in saying that, actually, funny story about my first ever start with the Oilers was Pat Quinn was the coach, and I had been around. I'd been up and down. I was on the bench. I sat on the bench backing up for, gosh, I don't know, 20 games maybe in a row. Same routine. I knew I wasn't playing, was never told anything. I just hadn't played, hadn't got a start. I'd been in one game in Vancouver off the bench, and that was it. And so it was game day. Day of the game, we're playing at home against St. Louis. We have our pre-practice video meeting. Same as always, I'm half dressed, ready to go. As soon as the meeting ends, I put my gear on. I'm walking out to the ice to go do my extra beforehand, extra after, everything that a backup goalie does that's never playing a game. And as I'm walking out of the ice, Pat Quinn pokes his head out of his office and says, "Hubert, you're going tonight." And that was morning of the game. And needless to say, my heart rate went from about whatever it was, 60 to about 190. And that one certainly would have been nice to know the night before, because it was a very, very stressful day, especially being my first start. I got to go through pregame skate, obviously nervous and thinking about all these things, and then calling my family and friends and telling them that I'm starting the game. And in that situation, I wouldn't recommend doing a day of. Down the road, when I was playing 65 a year, sure, you could throw it at me morning of a game. It's not going to change anything. But at that time, that was a tough way to start your first game. I'm certainly not blaming the outcome on that, but it did not go well for me.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.